So it's 5 o'clock and today is my Friday video, and I spent, I think, most of my afternoon filming different versions of this video. And honestly, this is hard for me. Like, I don't know if I'll ever publish what I filmed, because I don't know if it's actually helpful for me. I spent a lot of time during the time that I was kind of like creating the beginning versions of what I was gonna say, like kind of explaining like how it was difficult for me to not be at my peak level mentally and not be at my peak level physically, and like what that means for like my content. Basically that means that my content is not as creative, and like that kills me. That also means that my content is heavily like B6 toxic forward, when that's never what I wanted to do. I never really wanted to talk about that. And then I kind of talked about like how difficult it was detoxing from this, and how difficult it is for me and has been for me to like have the medical professionals not be helpful, in fact harmful. And that I learned that I'm not alone in this, but it's like that doesn't help. I mean, it kind of sort of does, to know that it's not a me thing, that it's like kind of sort of universal, but like it feels really bad. I feel really kind of exposed, and I feel really like kind of like I'm at my most vulnerable, and like being exposed to be kicked when I'm down, and like that caused me a ton of stress during the entire day. And I'm like, I never made this channel to like just be difficult. Like I never made this, I made this channel because it was fun for me. And I made this channel because it was like a nice outlet. It's becoming this thing right now, currently during this difficult time, where it's like, I don't know if I should just push through and like try really hard to present my best self. It's like, well, I'm not giving my best self to me. Like, why should I give my best self to everyone else? It's like, save that for you, and then once you have that in spades, you can give it to like the world or whatever, if they even want it. It's making me cry because it's like, it's a bunch of different levels of frustrations. Like, I want my body to be right, and I want help, and I want to be seen by like the people that like can help and see me in the medical profession. Like, I want to not be ignored, and I want to be like helped and like guided. And it would divide a lot of like the pressure that I feel currently right now to handle this transition of like getting well again all on my own. I had some really kind of crappy things happen around the time that I learned that I was detoxing, or I was toxic, and I thought that like I would get better once I kind of like shared that information with my doctor, but I didn't. That made me feel a lot worse because of what happened there, and I don't really want to talk about it. And I also don't want to really get into like what I learned about how like people like prey on certain people like me that, you know, aren't really helped from the medical field. Like, that's kind of like what I talked about in the beginning. And I think all of that just is like acknowledgement of everything that's like stressing me out. And I don't think that that's helpful for me. And so like I was really stressed pretty much all day today, and I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, I'm already like, you know, not well. I have like a hair. I'm already not well, and it's very difficult. This detox is like horrific. It's painful. It's like unpredictable. It's like uncomfortable, and it's scary. And that whole thing is like isolating because nobody really knows what you're like going through unless you've actually gone through this. And I'm not really one of those people that like love to like join a community so I can just go talk about my problems with other people that have the same problem. Like, I'm not really one of those. Not that like it's bad, but just that's just like not me. Like, I don't want to make these types of videos where I'm not well or at my best, or like not sharing something that's like, I don't think that you need to have like false optimism, but like my optimism and like my zest for life is usually genuine. And so that's the content that I want to make. But today I realized that like, even if I'm trying to be genuine and like share my genuine like thoughts about like what is happening in my life that I worked on this week, it's like, it feels horrible to be just so exposed when I like, my instinct is to revert from the world. And that's hard for me because like, this is kind of like my outlet for a lot of different things, and my outlet is like, it caused me a lot of stress today because it's like, I can't make a fake video about like something other than this, because this is like all fucking consuming. Like, the way that I'm going about like dealing with it once I got like no help from like my medical team is like, it's difficult because I don't know what protocol to follow that will actually be okay for my body. There's like a general protocol and I'm like, I just don't even know. And like, all the things that I'm learning, it's like, what? I don't want to learn this. Like, I'm really curious about stuff, but I'm not curious about like what causes B6 toxicity in your body and what it does. It's really difficult for me to like just deal with the symptoms. The symptoms got a lot worse once you start detoxing that process. And I don't really know when I'm gonna get better. Like, I hope that I am, because I hope that like my nerve damage from it is like reversible. For some people it's not. And like, I'm really hoping that it will be, and I'm really hoping that I'm one of those people that's like good in like 4 months or like in 6 months. But like, I have a really restrictive life right now, and it's a lot mentally to like be preparing myself for a life of exploration and creativity, and then like, I have to like swallow it that like my life is gonna be restricted for a while until I can get help on like other things. And I'm just like waiting for doctors, like a change in my doctors, like a referral to like specialists that can actually like help me. I'm just kind of like maintaining with like the detox that I'm doing, or like the protocol that I'm doing, just like kind of like wait it out. But like, the protocol is like really restrictive, and it makes it impossible for me to like enjoy my life how I used to, even though it's like, I don't know, I can actually see some of the benefits of like doing it for just even a little while. It's just so restrictive. And like, my creativity hasn't really come back. My zest for life hasn't really come back. Like, it's almost as if like my like happiness receptors are like wiped or something. It's like, I feel nothing, and I feel like, I'm not sad, I'm just sad, like in general. I'm not like depressed, I'm just sad that it's like such a difficult thing, and like, I don't think I can do it in front of people, but I don't think I can hide it from people, because that feels inauthentic to me, and I can't keep making videos about this because it's just difficult. It opens me up for like I don't know, say what you want about like the way that I date, that's fine, but like I can't deal with being picked apart and like thrown in like 1,000 different like directions, like medically, because like the reality is it's just tough, and it feels so isolating. And like the fact that people don't understand, it's like I don't have the mental capacity to like prove this to you that it's difficult. It's not like anything I've ever experienced like ever, but it's tough. So I don't think I can do this every Friday. It's like a lot on my mental capacity when I'm just trying to like stay together, try to stay like mentally strong and mentally there. That in itself is difficult because of what my body is doing. I'm forgetful. I just realized that the healing process is probably better done privately. And like, I'm not like a quitter, but like I can't lie to you. I can't come on here every Friday and just like not talk about what's paramount in my life, because that's what I've done for a year. I've like made videos that I thought were like poignant and important, and it's just too much to deal with because it's just difficult. If any of these like elements of my process of like having this happen to me was different, like if I had like in-person support, or if I had like a very like caring healthcare provider, or if I had like answers to like, you know, how to do this, it would be much different, but I don't. And like I've been forcing myself to just kind of like stay with it, stay strong, and like just continue on. And like I don't want to have that pressure on me to do what I don't want to do. I want to admit to myself that this is hard, and part of that is admitting to myself that I don't have to do this even more difficult in front of people. Like it's hard for me to realize that since my life is so restrictive, my like day is restrictive, and like I thought about it the other day. It's like, if this is gonna take a long time, I can't turn on and off my creativity, and my creativity is part of who I am on this channel. It's like the topics that we talk about, or like it's just, you know, the flow of things. And if I'm not at capacity, it'll feel very forced. And I don't want anything to feel forced. I didn't sign up to be like the poster girl for like spreading awareness for this. I didn't sign up for, and I'm not trying to think that you think that I am or want me to be, but like I can see if I just keep making videos, this is what I'm gonna talk about, and I'm like, ugh, I don't want to talk about it. I guess I'm just not ready for a front-facing like show of strength yet, and doing this in real time, because I've already kind of like used up all of my pre-recorded videos. So like today is September 27th. You'll see this on September 27th. Like I don't have any time to like remove myself from what people are saying, or if they say anything at all, or just like mirror the fact that people are seeing me like be this exposed, like vulnerable. I don't feel like doing that. It's tough already just by myself, talking to no one in my apartment. It's like just tough to like maintain my body's like wellness. It's like really effed up right now. It doesn't hurt so much anymore. Like in the first like week or so, it hurt, and I like cried in the shower because it hurt. But it doesn't hurt anymore. It's just like uncomfortable. It's like when I sit here on the floor, my like legs go numb, and when I get up, my legs feel like lead. And like when I eat like really any amount of my like highly curated food that I've weighed out according to a specific amount of B6 that I'm supposed to eat, it's like draining. It's not fun. When I feel like this, it doesn't help me to know that it might be helping somebody else. Like it's really different when it's like an emotion, a level of awareness I'm sharing, or like, I don't know, something else. This is like a next level. I just don't want to do this. You probably don't want to watch somebody like be like, you know, not well just because they want to like create a video. But I don't know when I'm gonna be well. And like next week I could be like really good, and I could come here with like my mind is clear, and like I feel not like my old self, but like a new self that's like wiser but like more healthy, right? Like I could just be more with it, and I could talk about different things that are like really worth somebody listening to, because it's like either A, interesting, or it's like relatable or something. Like vulnerability for the sake of vulnerability, that's nice, but like this is vulnerability that's painful for me. And I'm doing this video to like say that I can't do this video every Friday. So like until I get better, which I don't know, it's like a long, slow process, and it's like until I like find the right people to like help me, it's gonna be like a process that's like really on my own. I just want to find somebody that like knows what the hell they're talking about medically, and like can aid me in doing this safely. And like when it's not safe, they can like step in and like help me get back on track that way. This seems like a mental guessing game, and like the guessing game is like super overwhelming, and I'm not in a good place to like give anybody advice. Not that like that was my channel. I don't really give advice. I just kind of like talk about what it's like. But usually when I talk about what my life has been like for like the week or whatever, it like leaves me well. It leaves me like happy. It leaves me knowing that like I've contributed. Like that's how my content feels to me. I was getting stressed out throughout the day because like I just felt depleted. I feel like I'm opening myself up more and more and more to be scrutinized or to be told certain things, and like I just want to shut that all out because I just do. I can't handle that. I can't even handle the sound of a text message. I can't handle trolls right now. I can't handle people coming at me. And like when you share yourself vulnerably on the internet, genuinely, you need to kind of be at your best self and be able to like roll with the punches. And I'm like my weakest self. So like as a creator, what do? As a creator, like nobody like really depends on my channel. Like I'm not so stupid or like narcissistic to think that like if I stopped it would be like the end of the world. But like there's some like level of, I've done this for a year. I've stopped before, but like I chose that. I don't want to stop, to be fair, but like it created so much stress for me today to like actually have like a specific talk about what happened this week and get into the details, that I was just so stressed. My body felt stress. Like my whoop said I was stressed. Like that's like my stress level, it like went way up when I was right about to edit. I was just sitting. I was just sitting. That's like my body stress. That's like the mental stress of this. It's like I can't handle that. I don't want to handle that. And it's like I have these obligations I've created for myself because they were healthy outlets, and it's like I need to remain true to myself, that it's like asking myself, is this still helpful for me? The answer is no right now. And that pains me to say. This whole thing pains me because I don't want to take a break, and I don't want to talk about this. Like I've said like 1,000, I don't want my channel to be like this, but like something like serious is happening, and like I don't know how to easily make it go away. And I don't think that my updates every Friday about it or whatever's happening with my life is going to be any less stressful than it is today. I just want, like, I don't know what to do. What would you do if you created a channel about like genuine connection and tried to like foster that? What would you do? Would you take time for yourself? Like that's like the obvious thing to do, but then like people are fickle and they'll go away, which like that's fine. I can start from zero again and just like redo like what I was doing, like pick up where I left off, or maybe it'll be like Michelle like 3.0 or something, right? Like you're never gonna like immediately pick up where you left off because you're changed too. Like you're hopefully a better product or a better whoever when you come back. It's not like other people who like financially depend on their content. Like I can stop whenever I want to. It's just like for me and from like my soul, like doing this on a regular basis is like practice in like being myself. Practice that you can't get any other way. Like you can, but this is like how I've done it for a while now, and this is like the space that I've created with you, and it's too much. Doing this publicly is too much. In real time, it's too much. Like definitely the hardest thing I've ever done for like a lot of different reasons. Like at least with the whole dating thing, like I chose that. This I didn't choose. It like kind of like came out of nowhere, and then it got worse and worse and worse kind of out of nowhere, and then it just became like what my life is about right now. Like I had a phone conversation with one of my friends the other day, and I was telling her like a tiny bit. Like I always tell people just like a tiny bit of like what's going on, because as much as I want to be like understood, it's like I don't think my effort of like explaining what's happening and how it all feels and like what it's like, it like will really hit home. So I'm just gonna save my effort because it's just, no matter how I explain it, it just is never like really understood to the level of like you understand that it's the worst. I think only somebody else who has like had this happen to them like understands that it's like the worst. But anyways, I was on a conversation with her and she's like, well, I really want you to do something like fun. And I appreciated that because it seems like my life is not fun, and it's not. But also I'm like, there's no way that I can really explain to you that that's kind of sort of impossible right now. So like channel wise, the last time this happened was when I figured out that my channel was compromised as far as like a safe spot, and like my solution was to put some time and distance from creation and just do things a tiny bit different to like be a little bit more safe for myself. And it's not really like that this time, because like part of what this illness or whatever is going on with me, it's like it takes from me in ways that I can't really control if it comes back. I'm a mentally strong person. I can handle a lot. And I can handle a lot publicly. And I don't know if that's really effective for getting better, just doing that. I also don't want to make content that like skirts around like the elephant in the room, that like I'm not well, that I'm not at my best, that I'm not my creative self, that I'm not who I normally am, that I'm like angry as fuck, or I'm like just, I don't even feel like a human today. Like there's different times of the day where I feel completely great. There's different times of the day where I'm just like, I hate my body so much. And it's, I think what's best is I just like consistently try to manage my symptoms until I like get the help that I need, or it just detoxes enough for my body to be like completely good. And that like might take a year or two. I don't think I need to like not make videos for like a year or two. I just need to not do this part publicly. It's hard as fuck. I can handle like things going wrong, and I can handle like a lot of stuff and talk about them because I can see like the benefit of sharing. But right now the benefit of sharing is like not in my favor. It creates too much stress that I don't even feel, but like my body feels. And like I'm trying to just have chill days, and so that my body can like just heal. But I also want to be like how I am and create things that are important to me. This is important to me to like cover, and it's important to me to figure out how to do it. But that's a frustrating thing. I'm really sick of explaining myself and not being heard. Not by you necessarily, but just over and over again to people to like not really get it. And this is like one thing I need somebody to like get, but it's like impossible unless you've like dealt with this yourself. So it's like I don't really want to talk about it. I don't really want to share it. Just mentally and physically painful. So I'm just not going to. And so if I create a video, I create a video. And I just know that like because I created a video that Friday and put it up, I genuinely wanted to. It's not because I like felt I had to hulk through it. This is me deciding that I don't want to hulk through things. Meaning like just force myself to do it because I need to like be consistent. Like there's no reason for me to like be consistent. I do it for myself. And if it helps you or is entertaining for you, then I love that even more. Like I genuinely hope that it is. But this is a part of my journey where it's like, just because I do something consistently doesn't mean that it's still like healthy. Like I'm learning that this is not healthy. Like not necessarily like crying in front of people, but like what's not healthy is that I'm very, very, very vulnerable and I'm not well. And I can't manage all of that and do it even more publicly. Like it's just a lot. So it's like disappointing to me because I've been doing this, you know, in different areas of, you know, explaining my life, and I've handled it just kind of like fine. It was kind of scary sometimes to like upload something that was like super vulnerable, but like the vulnerability is different when it's this, and I don't really have an explanation of why, it just is. I feel very protective of myself. It's like if nobody else is going to be protective over me, meaning like the healthcare people, I need to like be more protected. And the internet is not a lovely cuddly place. It's a place of like equalizing. It's like a place of realness, and you can do what you want with what I create, right? There's nothing to say that you can only be nice to me. And so I really don't want to share things that people can hold against me or make me feel even worse than I already feel. Like, I don't need that. Not that anybody's done that yet. But it just the idea of like talking about, you know, what's happening to me publicly in a way that's not vague. It like, that's too much. So this is me like, I guess like in real time deciding to like give myself permission to like not hulk through it just because I consistently did it for a year. This is me understanding that there's potential for more harm than good, and the harm is on my side, right? Like, what should I do this for? I shouldn't. So I want to be able to create still when I really do want to create and when I'm genuinely inspired. But it's just difficult for me to like get that way. Like it's just difficult for me to like feel pleasure in my life right now. I think my neurotransmitters are like kind of screwed up right now. And I didn't anticipate that happening. I'm not a very good liar. And I don't love just like coming up with some other idea to like distract myself just to like make a video. And so if I wanted to make a video about certain things, I will. But if I don't, then I'm not going to. And if my mental state is not good, then I'm just gonna stay off the internet. I think that's the most healthy. But like you as a viewer, like that's not lovely. It's like, when are you gonna upload? I don't know. I just want to like create a video during this time where it's like really difficult for me. I would just want to be on like a kind of like a variable schedule, because if I want to create a video next week because I feel good and I feel inspired and I want to, then I will create that video. But if I create a video and it's not until like 2 months from now, that was when I felt well enough to do that. I want to be able to know when it's like right to like return. Yeah, I know I could like create like content that is, you know, not as vulnerable as like what I always do, or not as authentic, or not as genuine, or not as real, and like you'd have something to watch. But like, let's be honest, that's not why you watch me. So this is me recognizing that I can't give you that. And because I can't give you that, because it's tough for me mentally and physically right now, it seems wrong to create. And I don't really have the timeline of like when it's gonna be right. Sorry about the dog. Always the bitty dogs here. In other news, the hurricane that was going on earlier is like kind of gone away. We survived a hurricane. And apparently we survived the tornado watch. It was until 6:23. So I think we're kind of good. All those things you didn't know about, that I'd shared in my previous versions of this. But yeah. I hope to see you soon. And I hope that if you're going through a journey similar, dissimilar, just any journey, that you find ways to make it easier for yourself, but you also just like listen to yourself despite your responsibilities. I think that was like the main take home of this. Listen to your body. I listened to mine today and I was like, we don't need that added stress. So anyways, I'm going to edit this and get that up, but I hope that you guys take care, and I hope that you have a great weekend, and I will hopefully see you as soon as I can. Until then, be well.